Good evening and welcome to Fleece TV this lovely bank holiday Monday evening. Now, on Fleece TV, we're always looking for different angles, and here's one you've not seen before. We're going to come to the beautiful bin store, the fallen cherry, and the walnut tree, which we'll be talking about just in a short while. But first of all, I wanted to say a big thank you on behalf of the Fleece for last night's asparagus auction, particularly to Mr. Joe Chaston, who did a fantastic job in adversity of auctioning, and then for all of you guys who turned up on Zoom and on Facebook Live and who bidded. We got some incredible bids last night, which meant that even for a very short virtual auction, we managed to raise just short of £800 for our chosen good cause, which is Caring Hands in Evesham, who help people in poverty with food, work with food banks and so forth. So we hope that we'll be able to get one of the guys from Caring Hands with us later in the week to have a little chat about their work. But thank you everybody for turning up. I'd like to thank my technical director for doing a spiffing job last night when I wasn't even really focused on what I was doing, because I can't really do very well. But there we go. So you'll be pleased to know that we wanted to get the asparagus out there, and so here was I disappearing, delivering around. So there's me on my tractor. I do like that tractor, you know. So a little earlier on, I was speaking to a friend of the Fleece, Mr. Dan Bones, musicianer, regular here at the Fleece, come to various events and so forth, who was telling me about what he's been doing over the lockdown period. Over to you, Dan.
Hi everybody. I'm joined here today by my friend Dan Bones, who's a musician extraordinaire, visitor to the Fleece on occasion, and many other talents. So good afternoon, Dan. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, all the better for a hot sunny Monday, bank holiday Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Just need a beer or two, don't we? I think.
A beer in a beer garden. Do you know any beer gardens that are open at the moment?
I don't know of a beer garden. It's a bit empty at the moment. So, Dan, you've been doing this this collaboration thing, haven't you? Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What it was like lots of fellow musicians. I mean, music plays a humongously massive part of my life. It's a real pick-me-up when things aren't going too well. And when this lockdown started, like many others, I lost a whole year's worth of bookings that I was looking forward to, particularly summer festivals and what have you. And I noticed that there were a few of my friends, for example, Will Pound, Will Allen and Kath Ord, that were doing these daily tunes on their Facebook and streaming them. And I thought, that looks a really nice idea. I like watching them. And I thought, in some ways I was gutted, because I was thinking, I'm not really a melody player. How could I get involved? How could I be part of this? And then another friend, Martin Clark, had created a group called Tuesdays, where he sets like homework on a Wednesday to all the people that are in this group, and they have to record themselves playing that particular tune that he sets by the following Tuesday. And again, I thought, I wonder how I can do that. And then I asked my friend Kath Ord if I could somehow project her on the screen here while I played along, while I recorded it opposite. And for some reason, I've done loads of gigs, but I felt incredibly nervous doing that for some reason. Even though I could have done various takes of it, I thought, this could go horribly wrong. So I recorded it and sent it to Tuesday's group, and it seemed to go down quite well. And thought, oh, if I could do that there, I wonder if I could sort of start doing, like a daily accompaniment rather than a daily tune. And yeah, it all kicked off on day one with Mr. Will Pound, and then sort of 53 individual musicians later, I'm still going strong at the moment. and it gives me a real sort of boost. It makes a lot of other people happy. It's a good laugh. It really keeps me on my toes trying to work out what to do, how to play it. So many different instruments, and yeah, it's a good substitute for not having any sort of gigs to do this year.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the most challenging instrument you've had to work with? What do you say?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, not so long ago, I had a harp player and called Ali Bridge York, and an absolutely beautiful instrument. But because it was that good, I really thought I can't sort of do a standard strumming or picking. I had to really sort of listen hard and work hard, and actually sometimes look at where the fingers were going as well. Another instrument of late was definitely the tuba as well, with the melody being so low. I had to, and that was thanks to Mr. Nick Hurst. I had to really watch again carefully what he was doing. That was a real challenge, I've got to say. But
is that in a weird key? Is that in B flat or something? Is that
it was? It could be, but no, I think in this instance he played it in F. So thankfully I've got the old quick draw capo, which something I have to slide up and down all over the neck. But F's quite a nice forgiving key actually. But no, if it's B flat, I'll be talking to people like Ed Johnson and Will Pound, that's for sure. but no, it was okay. But yeah, it's just been able to hear the low melody, and hopefully it didn't go too bad.
So, are you going to just have you got a queue of people who are hoping to do collaboration with you? Have you still got some some bags, so to speak?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got at the moment sort of 6 or 7 videos waiting to sort of do every day, and I've had very grateful and positive responses to those that have asked. If you're at a loose end, you fancy doing me a video. And they should be coming in this week. So at the moment, I think we're up to 53. I think I've got enough to see me past 60, and then
brilliant.
There we go.
Yeah.
I haven't really got a target in mind. I mean, I thought I was getting to 10, to be honest with you, but it seems to have gone a bit above and beyond, really. But what I find heartwarming to read the most is I'm doing this really not just to give me a boost, but also to promote and push the guests that I have. They've lots of these are full-time musicians who have literally lost a year's worth of work in obviously pretty much dire straits, some of them, in terms of finance and funding. And when you hear the reports from the government not supporting self-employed musicians particularly as much as we hoped and what have you, I'm just trying my best to promote them, but also to put smiles on their faces and the listeners as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And how would people, if people want to look up some of the collaborations, how would they find those?
Well, they're on my Facebook page daily, but what I have done in the last week or so is I've created my own YouTube channel, which seems to be a lot more universally accessible. And I think the easiest way would be to search my name and then put guitar accompaniment after it. And then there you've got every single video I've done since I've started. And you can scroll through them. I think you've got about 2.5 hours of listening to me play and yabber on like I'm now. So might be a good cure for insomnia, but at the same time, it might be good to listen to one evening, So best bet, most universal way is probably having a look on YouTube.
Okay, that's Dan Bones' guitar accompaniment.
Yeah. I'll send you a link later, Nigel, if you want to.
All right, yeah, brilliant. Thank you. And so hopefully at the end of the show, we're going to show one of your collaborations. You've been kind enough to let us do that, so thank you. And thanks for joining us today, and good luck with the future collaborations. If I can get my harmonica sharpened sufficiently, I might send you something over.
Well, I'm still waiting for a decent harmonica player, so...
yeah, no, yeah. There aren't many of them about. Okay, Dan. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Cheers.
Pleasure. Thanks, Nigel.
Thank you.
So, thanks, Dan, and we'll see Dan a little bit later in the show. But Dan's also involved with Warwick Folk Festival, and Warwick this year, of course, is cancelled like all festivals, pretty much all festivals, but they are doing some virtual stuff, so watch out for that if you like a bit of folkiness. It's a great festival when it's in the real world, and I'm sure it'll be great for the virtual stuff that it does. And apparently I'm going to be involved in some way or other. Don't know how that's going to be, I'm waiting for my technical director to tell me. I'm sure she's got something in mind. We're moving on now to Vicky. Vicky has been tasting some of our more unusual ciderage.
Hi Fleecy friends, tonight I thought I might do a cider review. The cider I've chosen is one that Nigel's got in the storeroom at the moment, and it's the Cotswold Cider Company Shapeshifter cider, which is apparently an appley cider with hints of ginger and lime. Here goes. So it looks to be a still cider with quite a lot of tannin in it. Cheers. That's really refreshing. The ginger flavour comes through really nicely next to the apple, but not too strong.
So, Vicky, of course, trying cider in one of our cantabulous cans there. We do, if you like, can you believe it? That we do sell beer in cans and in draft, and Vicky's one of our regulars for food delivery. And watch out for news coming soon of enhanced food deliveries coming your way here from the Fleece in Retfordton, including an enhanced range and improved time slot availability. But for now, let's just give you a little bit of history of the Fleece Inn. Before we do that, actually, I just wanted to share a few comments that we've had. Liz Gavin, Paul Wood and others are watching. Sharon's watching. Spikes, sorry, missed the auction, but says, what a lovely way to deliver asparagus on a tractor. And Carol loves the tractor. Andy Canning missed the auction, but he was glad it's a success. Andrew Spare, the Reverend Andrew Spare, a good friend of mine, is watching just as we speak. And Andrew will be joining us tomorrow for Fleece TV, where we get an insight into the vicarage business in the Evesham and Norton and Lenchwick. There you go. Phoebe Appleby's here. I've been talking to Phoebe, ice cream goddess of these parts, who is also a superb singer and dancer and is doing various things around and about in care homes, some great work, and we're hoping that Phoebe will join us over the next week or so to do something along those lines. Ashley Ike is watching, so hi guys. So here's the history. Here's the history. So this building here is the old loos from way back when Lola was around. The National Trust stopped them, changed them, put the loos in the main building over there, in a building over there. But these were the loos. They're apparently a bit smelly, don't know. But if you asked Lola where the loos were, she would say, well, if you live locally, why don't you go home and use your own? So that's the kind of girl she was. So these were the loos. They're now a storage area, but they might, in these social distance times, become the new loos. You never know what's going to happen. And down here, to your footage, is the ancient road that passed through the Fleece Inn's grounds when it was a cottage, working as a working farm cottage. And just here to our right is the area previously known as the Walnut Tree, which was electrified, sadly, some years ago, and died, went Judd. And but baby Walnut Tree arrived, and here he is, or she is, and got a bit frosted, you know, in May, in that frost we had in May earlier this month, and but yet still we have the walnuts is a forming. So they're a bit of a delicacy around these parts, pickled walnuts. Can't get my head around that, but that's what some people like. So we're going to have a go at pickling some walnuts and eating them. Generally, I've had them off this tree. This tree gives loads of walnuts. When the squirrels aren't nicking them, then we do get quite a few walnuts. And you can see here on the beautiful path, it's been replaced here because it was damaged, and the National Trust, God bless them, built this new bit using the same stone, the same local blue lias stone, to make said road. In fact, what they did was they dug up the original and reset it. But you can see here the dry stone wall, again, made of blue lias, sporting today an art installation known as Lawless Lager in Warsteiner glass. So there you go. But what you perhaps don't know is that the wall came round here, right the way around here, and this would have been a gateway somewhere about here into what would have been a field for animals, etc. So there you go. That's your Fleece history lesson of the day. Lesser known facts of the fleece. What we're going to do now, because Julian, you know, he missed out on his joke last night of the mayhem of the asparagus auction. So here is Julian's joke.
Again, have you ever wondered why it's always the little guy that gets picked out at the police ID parade? Well, it's because he's a little suspect.
So there, 10 seconds of Julian wonderment there for you. Now, the whole lockdown thing has led people to do things that perhaps they've wanted to do for ages, not quite got round to. But the other day, I happened to be chatting to our friend Lucy Anstey, who lives at the Banner, and she said she had an excess of rhubarb, otherwise known locally as squirt, for reasons you may or may not be able to work out. And yes, she dropped some off in a socially distanced manner, and Tash and I decided to make rhubarb gin. So our friend Lucy Anstey from the Manor gave us a load of rhubarb, and otherwise known as squirt, and we cut it into bits and soaked it with some sugar overnight last night, and tonight we've added a significant amount of your standard gin, and then what you do is, right, to get all your sugar diluted and that, you give it a bit and that's it. And then you leave that for a 4-week period when it will become scrumptiously delicious. There you go, gin-tastic moment. In a month's time we'll trial it on the telly. So just one more thing before we move on. It's the Fleece in quiz tonight, and you can get to us on Facebook Live and on Zoom, which I believe my technical advisor will place the Zoom code up for us if she's not already done it. A little bit of musical accompaniment by one of Messrs Appleby's cows there, you may have heard. But we're going to leave you now with a collaboration that Dan Bones did with Mohsin Amini, who is one of the finest musicians on the planet. He has won the BBC Two Folk Musician of the Year award in the past. He plays with Talisk and Ema, among others, and they have played here on numerous occasions, and I may or may not have been involved with the tasting of whiskey with him. But in any case, Dan collaborated with Motion to do this particular piece, and we're going to leave you with that now tonight. Thanks very much for joining Fleece TV. I'm Nigel, that's Tash. Good night, see you later.
1, 2, 3.
Cheers. Whew, blimey. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I'll do a fast one tomorrow. Cheers, Mossy.